Hello everyone, Taki here. Before we get started, I do want to say that this Retroid Pocket 2 will be given away to one of you. You can find information for that later in this video. If you don't happen to win, don't worry, I will be giving away this blue one in my main review. I've done some sneak peek videos of this device already on my second channel, so I will say that you should take a look at those because I've covered some really cool features of this new device. I haven't shown both Retroid Pockets together yet, so I'll just do that now. We still have the same screen, but most of the I/O and components of the Retroid Pocket have been completely changed on this new device. I do just want to say that I do not believe this clear case will ever be for sale. I requested this case for my review because it's easy to see the internal components during use. It has some imperfections around the top and the screen, so please keep in mind that this is essentially an engineering sample. You can see that we now have dual stereo speakers on the Retroid Pocket 2, up from the single speaker on the first device. If I flip this over to the back, you can see that we now have stacked shoulder buttons with L2 and R2 functioning almost exactly like they do on the Nintendo Switch Lite. We still have the same battery, but there are proper heat sinks on some of the internal components, which will help with charging and a few other things that I'll detail in my main review. The indicator light has been moved over to the top, and charging is now handled by a Type-C port that supports a much faster charging rate. We are still using the same analog component as the original device, but now we have a second low-profile digital joystick on the right, and if I remove the cap, you can see the component that they're using underneath, which should look familiar to some of you. The good thing about this case is that you can see exactly how it fits in my hand, and I will say that the added height for the two speakers does give you a really good grip on this device, with plenty of space for your fingers on the back side. Let's quickly talk about that right joystick though. If you're familiar with my review of the RG350, you know that I didn't like the right analog stick because it's very easy to hit during play. This low-profile digital stick is suited very well for this style, especially when compared to the Switch Lite. On the Switch Lite, your thumb will essentially live on the right analog stick during play, no matter where you place it, but that isn't the same situation with the style used on the Retroid Pocket, and I really like it. There's also a ton of changes in the software on the open and closed systems that I'll delve into more in my main review. In this video, I will be featuring a lot of new things that this device can do that the old one cannot, outside of what I've already shown on my second YouTube channel. I also have a developer interview with the lead engineer of Retroid in this video. He's someone that I know very well, but I never thought about asking him to do an interview, and I like being able to show all of you a behind-the-scenes look at some of the development here in China. I gave him the ability to answer questions in English or in Chinese, but I've edited both together for some of his responses for clarity. Since this is the first time that people have heard about you, can you introduce yourself and what you do at Retroid?
大家好，我是 Retroid Pocket 的远近经理，我已经在开发复古游戏机已经好几年了。
What do you think makes your company different from other Chinese handheld developers?
我们是一家技术型的公司，拥有多年的硬件、软件的开发经验，包括手机平台的经验。关于思考竞争的时候，我们的出发点是为了给用户创造价值。如果说没有给用户创造价值，那一切都毫无意义。
Many people do not know that the original Retroid device started out as an RK3326 over 2 years ago. Can you explain why you switched over to MTK and what kinds of challenges you faced developing that first device?
At the beginning, we got the development board of RK3326 to evaluate, but we were very disappointed. It's too much power consuming, which made RK3326 not an ideal solution. Acting a portable handheld, we didn't think that this was a good idea. At least it was not perfect for user. At that time, we chose to use MTK.
首先是零耗比，其次是希望能够聚焦更长远的平台规划，例如 MTK 平台有丰富的产品线，还有产品线路图也非常清晰，后续我们研发的资源能够得到一个很好的复用。
How did you decide on the shape and button layout of the original Retroid Pocket, and what lessons did you take with you to this new device?
The original idea of Retroid handheld is for arcade game only, so we lost the considerations for the shoulder button, which might be mandatory for most of the handheld game user.
这是一个教训，但是呢，后续我们希望能让更多的用户参与到我们前期的建议和讨论当中。
Why does the Retroid Pocket 2 run Android 6 and not a later version? Will we ever get an Android 8 firmware update down the line?
拿到安卓8.1的 SDK 已经太晚了，我们在安卓6上已经接近完成了。面对市场上的压力，也只能往后推了。如果说我们横版掌机取得令人鼓舞的订单以及研发人员资源的充足，我们会考虑安卓8.1移植的计划。
You mentioned that you are able to release the source code for the 6580. What do you hope the community will do with this?
I hope the community can help on more exciting features like wireless call on more emulator and help people can manage the emulator or ROMs more easily and make our system more user-friendly. The biggest idea is to make a wonderful game OS by the effort of the software genius all over the world.
Will wireless multiplayer be expanded to other systems in games in future updates?
Yes, we think the core value of a gaming device is especially to share the gaming experience between friends. Wireless call and net play are very important features in our future products and feature updates. However, a wonderful net playing gaming experiment depends on significantly on the transmission latency. We are still working on how to minimize net latency, like update to 5G Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi 6.
Can you make it so that way the device can rotate arcade shooters so you can play with the right side of the device?
It's fully possible for any of the Android device, and this requirement is going to be our next strategy and have already been put into our development plan.
Will there be a touchscreen version of the Retroid Pocket 2, and why did you decide not to use it on this device?
We can see some people complaining with our Android 6, and we were to ever add a touchscreen to this device. This would be after we port Android 8 to the Retroid Pocket 2. That device would cost more than the basic model because the touchscreen component is not cheap. This is something that we are thinking about, but not something that may happen.
Will the Retroid Pocket 1 get an update to allow it to button remap? And is it possible to get a limited release for NetPlay if RAM is an issue?
We only have 512 MB DRAM for Retroid Pocket 1, and NetPlays are tiny couple with available system memory. It's possible to get the NetPlay implemented in 512 MB system. We may consider releasing a 1GB DRAM version for Retroid Pocket 1, but right now it's just an idea and not our primary concern.
What are your goals for the future?
We are an entertainment equipment company. Our mission is to make features and decent game device to bring more and more hope, courage, passion, friendship, happiness to the people all around the world. Thank you.
I also want to do a big thank you to everybody that voted in my community poll yesterday. Retroid picked 3 of the options from the poll that had the most support, and they are now selling them as part of their pre-sale over on their website. Quick little interruption. If you want to enter into the giveaway for the Retroid Pocket that I showed at the beginning of the video, please go to the link on screen now and click on the link in the latest post on that page. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this first look and interview. This device is currently on pre-sale, and you can pick one up in the non-affiliate link in the description box below. This device is currently selling for $80 during the pre-sale, but it will be going up to $85 and $90 on AliExpress and close to $100 when it finally lands on Amazon in the States later this month. If there's anything specific that you want to see in my main review of this device, feel free to leave those comments below and I'll do my best to address them in my main review. If you like this video and you want to support my work, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot. I'll catch you here next time with another review. Happy gaming, everyone. Taki out.